Hi, this is The Business Guy. I'm the CEO of Lawyers Limited and Asset Protection Planners. So how do you hide your assets before a lawsuit? It might be time right now to think about and then act upon protecting your assets. You know, those items and wealth you've worked so hard for your entire life and if taken away would probably leave you devastated. There's a wealth of information about asset protection on our YouTube channel. Let's define what asset protection specifically is. Assets are those items of value that you own. You have earned your assets. Now, there are different types of assets. Current assets, for example, are cash items such as fixed deposits, stocks, bonds, etc. Fixed assets are long-term physical assets such as property, plant, and equipment. This may include your home equity, a business or investment property that you obtained with your blood, sweat, and tears over the years. It might include your shiny motor vehicle. In other words, most of your assets are the items that you didn't acquire through chance. You acquired them with toil. Okay, now for a little, very little humor. Why does nobody sue an ice company? It's because their assets are already frozen. Now keep watching, the jokes will get better. And if you do appreciate this information, please click the like button below so YouTube promotes it. Many thanks. And you can also click the subscribe button and that little bell thing below so that when more videos come out like this, you'll be up to date right away. Diving into the subject immediately, we now begin to focus on asset protection plans. Asset protection plans, put simply, are essentially places where you can hide the value of your assets rather than leaving them in plain sight. Now, it's important to note that when we say hide, we really mean protect, because hide is the term that many people use, and Mr. Google likes us to use the words that people actually search for. So just for fun, and because hide is the term many people use, we will use these words interchangeably. Many people don't consider the asset protection ideas discussed in this video, and that's because they don't plan to get sued. Nobody plans to get sued, but people in fact do, and quite often lose what they've worked so hard to obtain. There are many more lawyers in the U.S. per capita than any other country. In fact, with 4.4% of the world's population, the U.S. has 80% of the world's lawyers. And as you can imagine, lawyers of creditors enjoy being employed. So what do they need to do? They need to find people like you to sue, and they need clients and file lawsuits. This is why the U.S. has 96% of the world's lawsuits. More important to consider is they need to find money they can recoup from a lawsuit. That is, those who don't have any form of asset protection are leaving their assets in plain sight for the taking. By the way, what's the difference between a good lawyer and a bad lawyer? A bad lawyer might let a case drag on for several years. A good lawyer knows how to make it last even longer. You probably know what I'm talking about. Now, there are ways to legally hide your assets from hungry creditors and protect them. A credible source reports that about 54% of Americans polled do not trust the legal system. So for those of you who think your assets are safe because the lawsuit against you was frivolous, it might be time to think again. We've had countless of prospective clients come to us telling us the lawsuit was frivolous and they were sure to win and their attorney told them so. Many of them get blindsided when they lose the sure win lawsuit. Think about it. How many 5-4 decisions does the U.S. Supreme Court make? And that's the highest court in the land. Many. So why gamble with your future, right? So because of this, and because somebody may sue you again, it may be time to put a robust asset protection plan into place. Now, on that note, a guy took a job as an Amazon delivery driver today. When he got to his first address, there was a note saying, "Dear delivery man, we're out. Please hide in the garage." That was about 8 hours ago. Still nobody has found him. We have many options to explore in regard to asset protection, but keep in mind, this video is primarily to inform you of your options. Of course, our firm wants your business. We also believe that you're smart, and you're the one to make the choices, and you make the final decisions. That's respected. All we ask here is that you inform yourself on how to take the proper precautions and keep your assets safe. And when you do decide to protect your assets, do so with a firm with a long history of success. I've been in the business for 31 years, and that's what our firm wants for you, success. So give us a call or fill out a free consultation form on our website for more information. First to be discussed in hiding your assets before a lawsuit, or even hiding your assets from a divorce, is the establishment of a company for protection. Business owners should almost always create a business entity and should incorporate or form an LLC. Now, business entities such as corporations and LLCs offer legal protections and strong ways to hide your assets before a lawsuit even occurs. Consider Timothy. He's a sole proprietor of a small business. When his business is sued because of his unforeseen human negligence, guess what happens? His business and his personal assets are at high risk. Because Timothy didn't incorporate his business, he risks losing everything. Now consider Donna. Donna owned a small business as a sole proprietor. She was wise and educated herself on the different options to protect her assets. Much to her surprise, there were many options available to her. She discovered for her small business she needs to incorporate immediately. She discovered a multitude of protections this not only offers for her sales business, but she also found out that the corporation is a separate legal person from her. That if a plaintiff targets her business, her personal assets are likely not in jeopardy. Now let's kick it up a notch. Donna formed an LLC in the state where she lives, and she also formed an LLC in this small country in the Caribbean with some of the world's most powerful lawsuit protection statutes. Nevis, N-E-V-I-S, is one of the islands in the country of St. Kitts, Nevis. Donna formed a Nevis LLC. Now we'll discuss this soon. She not only formed the LLC though, she also opened an offshore trust because it offers the most powerful protection if, say, she smashes into a lawyer by accident as he's getting his mail. So from the two examples, be Donna, don't be Timothy. As we mentioned, Donna opened an offshore company. The Nevis LLC is much like a domestic LLC. What is wonderful is that it offers legal protection that is much better than a domestic LLC. It keeps your business assets safe, while at the same time it shields your personal assets in the event of a business-related lawsuit. Review our website where you can find very valuable information specific to the Nevis LLC. Nevis is a former British colony. It's part of a politically stable country located in the Caribbean. Many business owners have trusted the Nevis LLC because it offers security for business assets. We've set up more Nevis LLCs, by the way, than anybody in the world. Nevis LLC, or limited liability company law, provides superior asset protection to other jurisdictions. Before you can enforce a judgment against someone's interest in a Nevis LLC, you must post a bond with the Nevis courts. This could be $100,000, $200,000, whatever the court decides. Then you transfer the assets into the Nevis LLC. They're protected right away. After 2 years, the Nevis courts will refuse to entertain lawsuits against the assets inside the LLC. No taxes are imposed in Nevis on LLC income, but of course, you likely need to declare your income in your home country if you live in a country like the U.S., for example. A principal office and records for an offshore LLC in Nevis can be located anywhere in the world. You don't need to be a citizen of Nevis either. You have the option to incorporate in Nevis or form an LLC, both very prudent options. The Nevis LLCs offer the best LLC protection worldwide, according to our research. We also highly recommend the Nevis Complete Management Package. This gives a phone number and address in Nevis, so it's not just a shell company. You also have a bank and brokerage account with this package. The website offers it, or you can call us for more details. It is essentially a complete package that you can establish for this purpose. So for those of you who want to take little risk and leave no stone unturned, this is a valuable option to pursue. And it's managed elegantly. Again, we're not trying to sell you here. We're simply providing you with an option, and we wouldn't mention it if we really didn't believe it. It works, and it's a smart option. Now, since we're talking about protection, let's talk about the strongest protection, a Cook Islands Trust. That said, keep the new golden rule in mind. Act early. Act before a lawsuit strikes if possible, because last-minute transfers of assets look suspicious. So the Cook Islands Trust is one of the few options. In fact, the strongest option we'll discuss is the Cook Islands Trust. This is a robust asset protection trust where you can hide your assets, keeping them safe from prying creditors and money-thirsty lawyers. Opening a Cook Islands Trust is 100% legal. If you're not evading taxes, you have every right to open a Cook Islands Trust. Now remember, U.S. citizens, you pay taxes, and you must pay taxes on domestic and international funds, and there's really no way out of that. You can protect your assets internationally and maintain tax compliance, but don't leave your assets readily available for financial poachers. We put the Nevis LLC inside of your trust. You're the initial manager and signatory on the bank accounts. Then in the event of legal duress, our Cook Islands law firm / trustee can step in as LLC manager to protect you. That's why we put the Nevis LLC inside of the trust. Why? Because if you're in the U.S., for example, U.S. courts have jurisdiction over you. With the Cook Islands Trust, on the other hand, your local courts do not have jurisdiction over your trustee. And that's why we put your Nevis LLC into the Cook Islands Trust. Again, the trustee is our Cook Islands law firm. Court orders fall on deaf ears. Sorry, you don't have jurisdiction here. We will not turn over the funds to the courts or your legal opponent. So the reasons the Cook Island Trust is so strong is that you have access to the money, but your local courts and your legal opponent do not. You have our licensed bonded Cook Islands law firm on your side. In fact, our firm has set up more Cook Islands trusts than any firm in the world. So if you want your trust set up right, feel free to call and speak with one of our attorneys or consultants. You can also fill out a free consultation form on our website. Jenny who? Jenny is a 33-year-old physician's assistant. She works in the emergency department at a busy Baltimore hospital. She's single, and because she's single without children, this gives her lots of time to build her asset portfolio. Right now, though, her assets essentially include large amounts of money, a sizable stock market and mutual fund portfolio, equity in her almost paid off condo, and an already paid off BMW. She's doing well, right? Well, at first sight, yes, she is, but ultimately, no. This is what we're discussing. She needs to hide assets in the right places in the potential case she's sued. She works in a risky profession as well, which leaves her wide open to lawsuits. Without essentially a blanket covering most of her assets, money-hungry creditors can see what they want to take even before a lawsuit is filed. Time for a little fun two-line pop quiz. What should Jenny do right now to hide her assets before a lawsuit? Well, these assets are personal, so her best option would be to open a Cook Islands trust. Now, there are several reasons why this is a smart decision for her to take. First, her assets are out of plain sight, deterring creditors from even initiating anything because there's no visible money. We employ equity stripping strategies on our home. That doesn't mean what you might think it does. We record an equity line of credit against the real estate initially payable to the Nevis LLC. Then, if needed, we have a lender who purchases that lien and places the proceeds into an untouchable account in your offshore trust. See our real estate asset protection video for details. So when Jenny's real estate is protected beyond their reach, they have no interest. They can't see it. Also, if a judgment is ruled against Jenny, the courts can ask the Cook Islands Trust for your assets all they want. But Cook Islands does not recognize foreign judgments. We also set up an international bank and brokerage account in the Nevis LLC. Jenny has a debit card to access the funds and has online access to the bank account. She can go online and do her stock trading. Again, the Cook Islands Trust owns 100% of the Nevis LLC. And as we said, this gives you protection should you need our trustee/law firm to step in to protect you. So Jenny's assets are safe. Lastly, having one of these trusts allows Jenny to distance herself during a lawsuit from those assets. She's placing her assets into the Cook Islands Trust to hold on to while she's clearing up the legal issues. The court will see that she doesn't have any access to her assets directly, so they typically won't even be able to bother with them. Now, they would try to obtain her assets if she had easy access, but she's protected. And as soon as Jenny's legal troubles go away, then she retains full control by becoming the manager of the Nevis LLC again. Meanwhile, her assets are safe and secure in the Cook Islands Trust. You need to consider hiding your assets before a lawsuit is ever filed. Taking that action allows you the peace of mind during a lawsuit that they won't be touched. And yes, we said peace of mind during a lawsuit. That's what you get by simply making the right choices now. Now, there are several options for asset protection, which includes obtaining an offshore business entity with the Nevis LLC, and it would be best to consider the complete management package, which includes an address, phone number, fax number in Nevis, along with a bank and/or stock brokerage account. Another option for safeguarding your money is opening a Cook Islands Trust. In fact, that's the strongest option, especially for personal assets. Review our website and our YouTube channel for further information, and if nothing else, we hope you're more educated on the subject. Plus, we hope you now know that there are some easy and affordable steps you can take to protect both your business and your personal assets. Please click like, subscribe, and share this video with others. Until next time, this is The Business Guy.